Hey, Ultra Confusion fans. I'm Charlie. This is, of course, is Jesse, and we're back again for a little bit of a chit chat. There was a story that happened this week that I wanted to get Jesse's opinion on, and that story was that there are two wonderful individuals in the Senate who are trying to pass a bill in which they put cigarette-like labels on all video games rated E and above. So basically, My Little Pony Adventure is now going to have or what they're trying to do is they're trying to put a warning that basically says violent games may lead to violent behaviors. Your thoughts?
At what stage of the process is this at? Or they just said it?
They have written the act.
They're in that. So we're still about 2 years away from anything actually happening on this. It's got to go through committee, and then once it's approved through committee, but of course the committee, wanting to be the government, has to spend a couple $1,000,000 just to research actually if they are causing violence, and then if it actually gets there, then it will go to the floor and the Senate and then go on to the president. But it's not going to get there. This kind of crap always falls through the cracks. Also, in election year, they're trying to boost any publicity they can get for themselves. I think it's a little ridiculous. I think the ratings on the video game so far are very, very uh, inclusive of everybody. I don't think you need as violent. I know with cigarettes, they are having new ads where they put a picture of somebody who's got lung cancer on there. The difference is we know cigarettes cause lung cancer. If you smoke for long enough, you will eventually be speaking out of a hole in your throat. Violent video games, we don't know that. There's just not enough evidence out there, and people use Columbine. They use lots of different things to say, hey, it causes violence, but there's really no proven things. I mean, personally, I've been playing violent video games since I was a little kid, and I have yet to shoot up a school, and I hope I never will. And if I do, it's probably because my kids. Actually, I shouldn't say that. We're not even going there. We're not even going there. But it doesn't cause any problems. I mean, there's just nothing there.
Well, the individuals who are trying to pass this bill, I want to say one guy's from Virginia, one guy's from California. I could be wrong about that, but I believe that's the case. They have previously tried to author an act in which they were going to try to put warning labels, almost the exact same thing, but instead of violence, it was going to be a health hazard. Basically, video games causes obesity or something along those lines. So, to be honest with you, I'm in the same boat. I don't think this is actually going to happen, but still, this is yet another attempt of maybe a group of individuals who don't really understand what they're talking about because they probably have this like ooh video games bad mentality because let's be honest with you, in the world today, bad news is the best news to put on TV. If someone were to play video games and as a result become this huge philanthropist, you would never hear anything about it. If this guy plays video games and shoots up 5 different malls, it makes front page news. So I think educating the not educated would probably be better. The other thing is, as Jesse mentioned, the ESRB is a fantastic rating system, and they are getting more and more thorough. They're actually trying to keep up with the times. As everyone is basically going to the internet to get all their information now, they have not only they're giving you the rating, the mature, the teen, the E for everyone rating, but if you go to esrb.com, excuse me, not .com, .org, and you type in the name of the game, it will not only give you the rating, but also why it got that rating, which to, for me is pretty dang good. Now for the labels, I think I would be okay with the labels just to get the government off of video game developers' butts if these labels were put onto games that make sense. There's no way in hell that putting this label on any game rated E and above makes any logical sense. My Little Pony Adventure is not violent, and I fear that unfortunately, as I've stated very very many times, the parents are the problem. They're the breakdown in this wonderful video game push to make them look all bad. It's because they don't actually read the labels. if they were to read the labels and maybe understand, take a second to understand and maybe not use the video games as a babysitter. Okay, I'm going on a way further tangent, but here's the deal. You're going to have ignorant people trying to buy video games, and if you put this warning label on there, you're not only hurting the sales of ultraviolet video games, but you're also hurting the sell for like Dora the Explorer, which makes no logical sense. And this, in my opinion, is why it's not going to pass.
I'm just worried that they're going to put a label on there that says, warning, video games may cause you to...
And lack of hygiene, but that's just a stereotype. No, yes, right. I mean, it's ridiculous. But at the same time, I have to say the government needs their hands in everything, and so this does not surprise me in the least. But this is a constant struggle. I mean, you had the Jack Thompson thing from a while ago, and that guy was a Fruit Loop from Florida, and thankfully he got disbarred and has basically been discredited for his wonderful acts. And now, of course, you've got the government that's constantly trying to push video game legislation for sales, or trying to block sales of ultraviolet video games. I believe California tried to do it, and that one got stamped out. Oklahoma tried to do it, and that got stamped out. So,
yeah. These things don't work because the ESRB rating is there. It's not going to pass. Don't worry. Don't fret. They're just trying to do this to drum up some publicity for themselves. Each congressman gets a certain amount of bills they get to try to push each year, and these guys are just trying to do it for themselves. It's not going to pass. Don't fret out there, people. It's not a big deal. No one believes me, but I'm right.
No,
I usually am.
No, I believe you when it comes to history, politics, and just
random crap. Yeah, I know.
And certain random crap. I have to default to Jesse. I'm not a history buff, so I don't know Jesse's favorite series is Assassin's Creed. So,
by the way, talking about Assassin's Creed really quickly,
yes.
Showtime's coming with a series called The Borgia, which deals with Assassin's Creed 3, by the way. Brotherhood.
Really?
Borgia? Yeah, they're coming with their own series about them.
Interesting. Okay, well, look out for that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is there any other thoughts about the wonderful government trying to pass an act of trying to blanket all video games with this wonderful label that you would like to add?
No, I'm just sick of politics altogether. I'm just done with it. They're a bunch of idiots.
Well, one of these idiots is going to be elected, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. They're a bunch of idiots.
Okay. Well, with that, I think we'll wrap up. For myself, Charlie, and Jesse, thank you for tuning in for this brief little look in to cover one of the stories that popped up this week. Stay tuned for another episode of Ultra Confusion coming soon.